sensation, I was completely under the water, completely submerged. And it was like I didn't have any awareness of what had happened, except that what am I doing? And it really was like this, what am I doing underwater? Now, as it happened, it wasn't that deep. It was probably 3 or 4 foot deep. So I sort of, obviously, before I knew what was happening, I had stood up in absolute disbelief at my situation. And I mean, Lucy was very upset, and Kimberly told me that because she was back there near the queue with her
Yeah,
mum and my partner then,
yeah,
um, and Kimberly ran into there's a little castle where the kids played, and
yeah.
there was like a little turret. She said I was so frightened. She said I ran and hid in this. She sort of panicked when she saw this. Anyway, that was that. I sort of clambered out of the water.
Yeah.
The woman, she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, "Well, I don't think you were holding the boat properly, but it probably wasn't her fault. It was a very, very lightweight boat, probably not ideal for even kids to use, really." So, but the worst bit at that stage, I mean, this woman had got her boss, another lady,
Yeah.
in the time it took me to get out and feel absolutely humili- humiliated and embarrassed. And the boss lady came and said, "I'm so sorry." She said, "If you come with me," she said, "we'll go back to the main house, and
Yeah.
I've got some spare clothes." Can you imagine getting some spare clothes? And so, but the worst bit was yet to be. She said, "Okay, well, you come with me then." And I had to walk with her
Yeah.
past this long queue of people waiting to go on these boats, as if you try and look nonchalant. Oh, all right, this, and you thought, no, this can't be happening, cannot be happening. Anyway, long story short, really, I got back there. She gave me some clothes. I changed into them. It was surprisingly good. I would think they were better than my clothes. I was tempted to walk out in these. Well, I did walk out. She said, "I'll put all yours in a drying machine." They had all this stuff there, so maybe this happened fairly regularly. I don't know. Never thought of that before. But anyway, so I came out and met the family again, and we wandered around. And I went back about half an hour, got my own clothes back, and I never forgot. I think the girls called it Splash Hatch after that. It was something else Hatch, but Splash Hatch. So that was my experience of something that seemed a really good idea. Take Lucy on a boat, and I end up being completely submerged in water. And embarrassment doesn't cover it, I tell you. So that wasn't a good idea, Emmy.
Um,
Wasn't at all.
I tell you what, mine was short and simple actually. So I I went to visit. I went to see my son in London, and I was thinking of a day out. What to do. As you do with kids.
Mm.
I think it was about 3 then. So he said, Daddy, why don't we go ice skating? I said, oh yeah, wow, why not? Well, I've never been ice skating before. I've never even been near a skate. So anyway.
I can see where this is going.
Anyway, so we got, and it so happened that the lady there at the counter, she said to me, she said, I think it was £6 to rent the skating shoes. And she said, have you ever skated before? And I said, no. And the look on her face said, oh, we're like, oh dear, we've got another one. And she actually suggested, she was so nice. She actually suggested that my son did the skating on his own, and I just watched. And I went, no,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's a bit rude to you, really. You wanted to go with your son. Of course you did.
What's she talking about? I can stand this, I know how to walk, and dance.
So how did it go then?
Well, let's say I spent half of the time on my bum. So I had
On
a
the
really
floor.
wet, oh yeah, I had a really wet bum and sore knees.
Yeah, on the ice.
I know, I know, so it seemed like a good idea at the time, but oh yeah, it wasn't. It's just one of those things, you sit down, you think, yeah, that's a good idea,
Yeah.
you do it, yeah. Yeah, but then it turns out not to be. Um,
Absolutely right.
someone once said to me that loyalty is everything. And I kind of knew they were lying straight away because I was hungry at the time. Loyalty ain't gonna give me food. What are you talking about? I
Quite
mean,
right.
I
Quite
mean,
right.
you can't go to the shops and go, right. I'll, I'll have two, I'll have two sandwich and a bottle of Coke. I'm paying with royalty. Loyalty.
Absolutely right. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. So
One of your comments here, are we all 60% water? I actually think I've not checked this, but I think it's more like 75 or 80%. So
Is it?
you were understating it there.
All right.
It's quite hard to imagine, but we are three-quarters water, which is weird, isn't
Yeah. Reminds me of chicken breast.
it? Yeah, that's good.
You look at chicken breast, like it's like someone's injected it full of water. You think, whoa,
Yeah, yeah. I think
yeah,
it's called succulent or something, isn't it? Succulent.
right. I don't like chicken breast anyway. It's
You're
tasteless.
not.
No, I like I like the hard boiled chicken. That the one,
Mm.
but I don't like the ones with too much meat on it. I don't know. I mean, I think it's just weird. I don't. I should really, but yeah. Right. Here's this one. Has anyone ever told you remind them of somebody? Has anyone ever told you that?
I thought that earlier when we mentioned it. I
Yeah.
don't think so. No, I don't think they have actually.
No. Yeah.
Have they
Well,
said it to you?
yeah.
Have they you ever been said that?
Yeah. So I went to London, visit my uncle, and my aunt,
Right.
she said, you look exactly like this person. You didn't mention the name, but I can't remember now. But anyway, turns out, as luck would have it, we met this guy, and she, oh yeah, there he is. And I'm looking at the person, I'm thinking, who's she pointing at? Anyway, the guy walked right up to us and he said hello and he introduced himself and I thought, right. And I was waiting for my aunt to say something. She went, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was telling you that, you look like him. And the guy ended up apologizing. I don't know why he was apologizing for, but
You probably had to apologise to each other.
I was
That's
offended.
very difficult situation, that isn't it?
It
Because
is, isn't it?
both of you probably would feel awkward about. You think, well, is he not happy about being told he looks like me? And you're thinking, is he not happy? So there could be a bit of interesting thought process going on there.
I know, but I certainly wasn't happy. I didn't mention it to her, but I thought, no, he looks nothing like me. What are you talking
I
about?
think it's all in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? Sometimes, I
Isn't
mean,
it?
it's true because sometimes you may see somebody on a movie or on the TV,
Yeah,
and you say, "God, that person's just like so and so," and whoever's with you may say, "Well, I don't think so," or "Yeah, I see what you mean." So I think a lot of it is our own perception of somebody, isn't it, as to
yeah, actually,
whether
yeah,
they look like us or whatever.
yeah. I mean, there might be certain aspect that they're looking at that you can't see, because we all see
Yeah,
things from different angles.
differently, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, we do.
yeah. Now talking about invention, Trevor, what's your all-time greatest invention?
What do you mean? A human invention?
Yeah, human invention. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've invented too much, but I think for me, I mean, it could be so many things, couldn't it? But
Yeah.
for me, I think the most incredible invention, way before its time, was Concorde.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to fly on Concorde.
No
Um,
way.
I think, yeah, about 4 years before it was fine. It's just actually about 18 months before it crashed.
No
Um,
way.
and that kind of didn't quite kill the Concorde, the crash. It certainly started the process, but what really killed it was 9.